My people, how we doing tonight? Everybody taking care of themselves. Got your drinks, your snacks, your snoochie boochies, if that's your thing. My people, you guys know what I'm talking about. How we doing tonight? Troy, number one. What's up, dude? Frank in the house with 2. WV third, blue 5. Rosie, be fourth or be square. You're fifth, bro. You're fifth. Vinman, what's up? WV, how's it going? Sideshow. Jeff, arg, says Rosie. Sorry, Rosie. Just like the Eagles, man. You're the fifth seed. You're the fifth seed, which, maybe you could wear with a little bit of pride. What's up, guys? Jeff, the ones in the house. Albino Rhino, my man. Yo. What's up, Barbara? Frankie? Good to see you guys. It is good to see you guys. Hello. So, what a day. Interesting day. Not fun in our stocks, but that's all right. It is what it is. We'll talk about those. I'll answer questions. Really no news, but we'll go through that. I have a ton of economic stuff tonight I want to go over because it's just getting wilder and wilder. Moose with the memberships. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Hey, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, Moose. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Frank, I was hoping Ace would go live tonight. I almost gave up. Ace is a place. Oh, Frank, don't give up, man. Don't give up. After I go through tonight, you're going to see why you don't want to give up. Because it's, I don't know how this thing is standing right now. And if it goes kapooey, our stocks will go kablooey. There you go. That one was free. Darren, what's up? Dan, Ocean, what's up? Peter, Jeff, Cato, Timotheus. I like that one. Good day to you, sir. I don't recognize that name. I like it. Kryptonian got one. Dave Alon is back in the house with a membership. Honey Badger's in. Frank is in. There you go, Frank. You got a free membership now. You guys, as memberships, you guys can now watch my members' lives, which I've been doing once a week, mostly. I do miss some weeks. I did do one Saturday. I'm continuing to work on those, improve them, and I've thought about actually starting a series in the memberships. So I'm thinking about that. But anyways, as members, you get that, and since you've been gifted, you now have it for free for a month. And it's only $3 after that if you like it. And you get an extra 3-4 lives a month with me. And all I ask is $3 a month. So I can keep churning out more content. It pays for my time. And, hopefully we all win. So you guys can decide that, though. Stock market down. Mike McCarthy still has his job. Life sucks. I'm sorry, Corey. I wrote my buddy when I saw McCarthy kept his job. My Cowboys buddy, and I told him, I said, I'm so sorry. I was like, I feel for you, brother. What's up, CJ Yukon? So now what? 6 to like. Batman said things haven't been fun since October. We're still holding by my can. You're right if you're just looking at stock prices, but we can still have fun. La Liga, Anastasio. WV, light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming. Huskers, what's up? I'm on a little early. You're right. Mad Gun. Frankie, yeah, please hit the like button. I appreciate that. And also, if you guys don't mind, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Get it out there. We need people to know what's coming because they need to prepare. Even if they don't want to invest in the stocks we're in, that's fine. I don't care. That's not going to hurt me. But I want people to be ready because there's too many people who have no idea what's coming. And it's going to get wild. Alerts is here. What's going on? 12:30, Stony Bones. Moose, you been watching in the mornings? That works. Alerts really likes rum down here at 350. Nice. I'm still waiting to see what the response is going to be from the CEO. But yesterday I had a great day. Timothy has changed for 2024. Great things coming. I do believe it. Hard times, but good things for those who are prepared. Ralph Fan, what up? Bought more GTII at 21, more Finger 265. Those are some juicy prices. Martin, what's up? Rum equals Trump stock, have a DWAC. I hope you're right on that. DWAC is nice right now. Had a great few days. Dave Smith's catching me live. You have learned to be content. I like that. Mad Gun, there's a reason why GTI is so attacked so viciously. Absolutely, there is. Am I reading Knott's book of jokes? I haven't gotten to it yet. Jeff Cato, what's up? Oh, Swade's in the house. What's up, Swade? Blake, what's up? Caught you live and early. Got my 2.5 grilled beef patties for dinner. Carnivore's way. I love it. Yeah, I'm down almost 9 pounds since the first on carnivore, and I feel so good. I have so much energy. I've also been getting in almost 12,000 steps a day, so that is that's good. So I've been talking to Pedro tonight. He hit me up right when I was preparing for the live, and was asking me about the dividend, because he didn't know all the details on it since he wasn't in GTI when we got it. And so, anyways, he's just shaking his head and saying that it's so bad in so many stocks that he's praying that it goes one at a time, because if it all crashes at once, that could be worst case scenario, because that could crash the whole system. But I do think it's going to be one at a time. I don't think they'll all blow up at once. William's still on. Is he ranting about the CEO of GTI? I don't know. He must have had a bad conversation with him or something. US1, what's going on? You passed through my area on the way to Florida? Really? And you didn't even say hi? That's terrible. I'm just messing. 12:30, you're out of cash, can't buy anything. Food and gas are too expensive to average down on GTI and Finger. Bro, I get it. I totally get it. I was given some money to that I was able to put aside to it, but otherwise I would have been in the same place. Do I eat vegetables or fiber on carnivore? So Mad Gun, the way the carnivore diet I do, it's not strict carnivore in the sense that it's meat only. The carnivore I do it's an adjusted version of carnivore. It's really not carnivore, but it's called that. But I'm allowed animal products, period. So I also have dairy, and so I can have cheese and yogurt, which is great. And then I also can have fruit, and so anything with seeds in it is up for game. So I have bananas, I have apples, oranges, strawberries. My favorite thing to do at night is get frozen fruit, because it's super cheap. Frozen fruit, and just snack on it. I love mango's my favorite. Just frozen mango at night is delicious. So that's how I'm getting fiber and stuff. But the truth is you can go pure carnivore and be really healthy for a long time. There's a Harvard study where they watched 2,000 people who did carnivore. You should go read that study. It's wild. Darren, Schwab tried to warn me against buying ZJYL today. They tried to warn you against buying ZJYL? Really? We're going to talk about that tonight too. The short attack on ZJYL. Backstage. All right, you guys. You changed your name? Nice. What's up, old finds? Jeff, what's going on, man? How you doing? All right. Well, I'm only gonna go about an hour tonight, so we're gonna get right into it. As always, I'll answer your guys' questions, comments, all that stuff. I'll try. My chubby cheeks are starting to slim up. Well, that's nice. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. But I know what to say now. But these chubby cheeks need to get slimmer. I can say that. I need to lose about 25 more pounds till I'm happy. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, you guys know the deal. I'll answer everything I can. I'm still thankfully at the point where I can still handle the chat most of the time. Someday maybe it'll become like Tim Pool or something, and it'll be way too much. But for now, I get everybody going. And so as I go, guys, you guys let me know. Let me know if you got questions, comments. But let's get going. I'm going to break down a lot of economic news tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about ZJYL, bring up the short attack story they brought up on the stock, because I think that we could see big things there. GTI and Finger, there are no updates today. Nothing new. I'm happy to answer questions, but there's like no news today. So I'm not going to really cover those unless you guys ask. But nothing's changed on those. Still my favorite stock, still the big short squeeze, everything, yada, yada, yada. People are like, you don't cover that, you don't believe in them anymore. I'm like, shut up. It's not news. I can't say the same thing all the time. Ham's really good at that. I'm not. I like to talk about new stuff. but they're always there. They're not going away, and I will always be my number one, GTI and Finger. So let's get going here. All right, net savings came out today is negative. This is terrible. Net savings means in general, in the economy, people are not saving anymore, and all the savings are gone. So what happened? We still haven't gotten the credit report for December yet. We saw November was a record as far as people using their credit cards. I believe December will be even higher because of Christmas. And now we're seeing there's just no savings, and people are going broke. And so that's a major issue right there. Recession red flag incoming. Here's Michael Gaia. The first big warning was the ISM Services Employment Report, which hit its third lowest reading in the past 25 years, showing the labor market is the most important the labor market in the most important segment of the U.S. economy is cracking. This is we already went over how the jobs report was completely bogus, but this is just more proof of that. Markets spent most of the fourth quarter of 2023 rallying on the idea the disinflationary trend would continue making progress. Fed would finally be able to loosen money. And then what happened? We saw inflation come in more bullish. Optics says, what's David Reichman waiting for? I don't know. If I knew, I would, well, I don't know if I could tell you guys, but I would try. But I definitely don't know. Whatever is going on with Reichman and them, he's an old dude. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to figure out how to pass on the company going forward and set it up. I don't know. Listen, there's no point in speculating. All I know is that I didn't watch the rest of Williams live, so I don't know. He's frustrated with Reichman. Probably has, William. You know how William is. He gets frustrated. And so that's probably what's going on. Maybe Reichman said something or William knows something. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that it hasn't changed anything in the company yet. But what it could be doing is maybe making a deal go slower than it should go, something like that. And that is frustrating because we're ready for a win. But I haven't changed my stance on GTII. And by the way, I watched William the other day, and he was very clearly saying that GTI is still a monster. He just, in his frustration, he was saying, I wouldn't recommend buying it right now unless you already have it and are continuing to accumulate. And he did say that. So remember, context is key when listening to these things. Works, Dow's next turkey and high. Pre-sell coming in. I don't know. Are you a bot? Oh boy. I'm gonna watch that. I don't. Sales bots coming in. Crypto bots looks like. What's up, Al? How we doing? Anyways, yeah, as far as Reichman goes, I don't know, guys. All right, this is big. U.S. economy in such terrific shape that 7 of the 12 Federal Reserve Bank district banks reported economies either in contraction or in stagnation. Okay, so the Federal Reserve has banks all over the U.S. in different areas, okay? There's Kansas City, New York, San Francisco, there's a few others. And this is saying that 7 of the 12 are reporting that their local economies are in contraction or stagnation. That's frightening. And it says the other 5 are barely expanding. So we're at a point where it's dipped to 60% or almost 60% of the Federal Reserve banks in these areas around the nation. The local economies are in recession already. Let's just call it what it is. And actually, contraction at a certain point means depression. So we don't know how bad it is, but if that's over 50% of the banks and the other ones are barely thriving, that's telling you that the recession's here and the indicators just haven't caught up yet. So this is actually really big news here and something to keep an eye on, but I believe it's going to continue going on. Do you guys see today what happened with Spirit and JetBlue? So the merger is broken or blocked, and this basically is sending Spirit into its tailspin. And because of this, Spirit is now probably going to go bankrupt and might possibly go out of business. So it says right here, Spirit goes bankrupt, 12,000 employees lose their jobs, and the remaining airlines crank their prices even more. So airline prices about to shoot up. That's nobody's gonna be happy about that coming out of the holidays into the new year. So of course, I mean, what are we doing here? It's like nobody knows how to run anything in this economy. This is what happens in socialism, guys, by the way. Companies want to do something, they're blocked by the government, and yet the people in with the government get to do whatever they want. It's what's happening in our stock market. It's what's happening in this. I mean, of course, who do you think has bigger lobbyists than Spirit? American, United, Delta, they all are much bigger than Spirit. And so I guarantee you lobbyists blocked this. They didn't want this merger to happen. Southwest, they didn't want this to happen. And this is what happens in we're not quite socialist yet, but we're what calls crony capitalism. And crony capitalism is when corporations basically run the government. And that's what's happening. It's corporatism. And I've talked about this a lot before. I really break it down on my Fight Club live I did, because that movie is entirely about corporatism. William kept Ham positive today. That's funny. What's up, AC? KYP is in the house. What's up? Not Legal says there's pushback from banks increasing reserves. Really? Are the banks are mad about it, or are the banks mad that the Fed's about to stop funding them? Gretchen, I think 11 of the 12 in the November Beige Book were contracting and the last was barely. Wow. So Gretchen, you said 11 of the 12 in November. So this was actually better news? That's crazy. That's wild. James Lee says Donahue George in one of his videos says he was not getting paid on a stock dividend. The DTCC should have paid him. He further investigated, found they haven't paid about 400 stocks. Oh my God. Wow. That tells you there's just so much counterfeit fraud shares out there now that even the DTC is starting to withhold payments on them. That's crazy. What's up, Croissant? Saber, it's frustrating when you're fighting for justice. The bad guys are smearing you as a sociopath. Oh, are we talking about Ham? Yeah, that is what Ham has to go through. I'll speak to that for a second. It sucks. It's what you do when you're a leader and you put yourself out there, is you always open yourself up for criticism. And oftentimes the best leaders are criticized the most because they're the ones most willing to say and do the things that are the least popular, but actually really need to be done. Look, I've never had anything bad to say about Ham. And in fact, the better I get to know him, the more I believe he's just an awesome guy. And so, and if nothing else, like I always come back to the fact, and I encourage this for everybody here, we made the choice to buy in. He never told us to buy anything. He told us a story, which is true and has been proven true many times over, in my opinion. And the only thing that hasn't happened is the ending of the story, which is a prediction. Okay. That's the only thing that hasn't happened yet in this story about GTI and Finger. And that's impossible to know for sure, but we have a very good, because everything else is true, we have a very good estimation of what's coming. The fact is it's taken longer than most people wanted, and we get it. But I personally can't see justifying criticizing a guy who is working his ass off on behalf of thousands of people he doesn't even know. To me, I think he's a good dude, and that's impressive to me. And so you'll never hear criticism of William or Ham here from me. You won't. Or any of these guys out there fighting for MMTLP and so on and so forth. Because it's so hard. And you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And we all make mistakes. And sometimes we say dumb stuff or make a mistake with our words. Something like that. And yet it's easy to criticize from afar. It's easier to be Monday morning quarterback, But the fact is like, it's your job to take information, make decisions with it. It's my job to do the same. And I came here of my own accord, and I've stayed and grown and talked about this all on my own. And then I've been building relationships along the way. And so when I see William get going after, I immediately, I don't need to defend them. They can defend themselves. But I just shake my head. It's like, what's the point? What is the point? People want to bitch and moan, and they don't want to fix their own lives, and they don't want to take responsibility. And that is going on too much in our country now. It drives me nuts. And it's okay to have a bad day and say and spout off, and then I've had people do it to me, and they come back and they'll be like, "Look, I'm sorry, man. This is hard." And I get that, and I'm okay with that. But there are other people who just go on nonstop. And you know what? It's like, get a life. Go find something else to do. Nobody's asking you to stay in this. We understand you made a decision based on information we gave you, but you still made the decision. You pulled the trigger. And you're down some money right now. I get it. That sucks. We're all down too, but we always got in, and we always told the story that this was a fight that's going to take some gumption and take some time. And people they want to hear what they want to hear, and they want to hear that it's going tomorrow. And that was just never part of the story. So I get it. It's hard. It sucks. But, I don't have sympathy for complainers. I just don't. It's like, it's not allowed in my household. My kids aren't allowed to complain. It's just not allowed. It's like, you know what? Complaining does nothing. If you got your feelings hurt, if somebody victimized you, you need to process that. You need to get the pain out. And I will come alongside you and say, that sucks, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. How can we make this better? That's one thing. But then it's the excuses to not, or complaining keeps you as a victim when you have a choice to move beyond that. Just because you were a victim once doesn't mean you stay that. And anybody who stays a victim never does anything with their life. And I'm telling you this as somebody who had to learn this lesson the hard way, okay? I've had 3 worst days of my life. Number 1 was when both my parents died, okay? Number 2 was when my brother died on my birthday. And number 3 is the day my wife came to me and said, I can't do this anymore. And basically, I'm leaving. And I had to figure out how to change myself and get better. And I did. And I stopped being a victim and made it work. And now we're happily married, and we just hit 15 years, and things are going great. And she ended up not leaving. But I took responsibility. I did. I didn't try to change her. I changed myself, and I got better. And I've done it in jobs and everything. And the thing is money is money, and it sucks. I get it. Because it runs the world, it runs your life. I get all that. And I feel for everybody. The reason we're here is because I want myself and my family, and for other people who want to be a part of it, to change their lives forever. Because where we're at already, to me, is unacceptable. I know most of you guys, I know myself, I know we deserve better. We deserve more. We deserve a system that rewards us more for hard work, that does not kick us back, does not steal from us so much. We deserve that system. We deserve to make it on our own merits, and we deserve to have the same chances at wealth and success that others do. We all deserve that. And I don't want anybody to give it to me, but I want a system that's fair enough where I can go get it. And that's what we're fighting for. And that's what I'm fighting for you guys, and that's what I'm fighting for me. And in the meantime, we're also part of this play that could blow up and change your lives overnight and change your whole stature. But here's the thing, is a lot of us, the money we've put in here, because I've always said, don't put in more money than you can afford to lose. It's like my money that I'm losing right now, if I had that money right now, I could do a few things with it for sure. But it wouldn't change my life. It wouldn't put me into a new stratosphere of life. And so for me, the risk of that money is worth losing, because this is the only way I see to get up to a new part of life because of this corrupt system we're in. And that's what I want for you guys too. And that's what Ham wants for himself and for you guys. That's what William wants. And so we got to stop attacking each other. And like Ham always says, the longs fight amongst each other, and that's why the shorts usually win. But that's why we're going to be different. So, okay, rant over. Let me catch up with some of these. I'm sure I just blew up the chat, but banks pushing back to have increased capital. Yeah, that's what I thought. Only bad thing to say about Ham is he's a little salty sometimes. Is not. Yeah, I agree. It. KYP says Ham's straight up legit, in my opinion. He has DM personally on questions I've asked. Totally trust him. I feel the same way. Ricky William thinks selling GTI bought in Logic for 31. I mean, I'm long on GTI, so I'm not selling. But I also don't trust logic. So William feels that way, and that's great. And that's just a judgment call on us. And it is whatever he feels like. So you prefer bacon over ham? I actually do too, not. Killy, the fact that thing with ham is he'll walk all the haters in the FBI, DOJ, SS, but none of those scumbags show up to file a complaint. That's true. I think that's true, at least. Yeah. You'll criticize me for talking about Fight Club, Moose? Don't talk about Fight Club. That's funny. So now most of the people criticize are trying to do the right thing and living in their mama's basement, yelling at her for not cutting the crust off their PA sandwiches. Yeah. Mom, the meatloaf. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Naysayers should set alerts, find a new hobby. I agree with that. Do I believe in spanking? That's a good question. I'm like, I gotta be careful how I answer that one. Not, almost never. Let me put it that way. No, thanks, KYP. Gretchen, AC, thanks, guys. Zachariah, first time listener, long time caller. What are my thoughts on the Hunter buy? Oh, God, don't get me going on that. Either the ones complaining, the ones who invested more money can afford to lose, or they love complaining. I do believe that, yeah. Saber, I think every couple married in old age have been through what you have. They chose to work through it, and that's why their marriage worked. Exactly. Step up and, be a man, woman. And there are good reasons for a divorce, but most of the time I feel like the people just don't want to work on it. But there are legit reasons for divorce, too. Husker, having the wrong expectation, instant gratification mindset are a killer. Yep. Now, personally, I continue to watch the market all day. Don't bother it. Yeah, exactly. I don't even feel anything anymore. Victors and not victims. I like that, Darren. Do I still believe in the MOAS for GameStop? No, I do not. But I do believe it could still have a good run. I really do. Maybe it could run from, what is it at, 15, 17? I think it could run to $100 at some point again. Transatlantic and iron transgender pilots. God. So now if I had the money invested in Finger GTII until I could buy more shares. Yeah, there you go. Done, Dito. I bought GTI because of Lou. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Lou got me in originally too. I don't see my money as a loss, just on the hard road to success. That's how I feel too. Yeah, spanking not related to my kids. You guys, those are personal questions. Come on, I can't go into that. You guys are going to turn me beet red here, but we'll leave the spanking subject for a members live about that. Anyways, okay. Let's keep moving here, guys. I got some other things I want to go through. Bank of Canada did a $5 billion repo intervention today, so that's fun. Their repo market is going bankrupt. $5 billion injection. These economies are collapsing. It's as bad as it is here in the U.S., it's worse everywhere else. So just imagine that. I mean, not everywhere else. I'm sure you could find a handful of countries doing just fine. Probably small countries that are mostly decentralized. Very few of them. But as far as like the more centralized countries, we're doing the best out of all of them, and it's not close, which is a scary thought because we are doing terrible. I'm going to keep flying through some more of these. All right, so housing market, reliable predictor of unemployment, anticipating the unemployment rate with an 18-month lag, currently predicts rapidly rising unemployment rate in 2024. So the housing market last year is now predicting this year because of the lag, and you can just see it right here. National Association of Home Builders, Wells Fargo Housing Market Index, and the unemployment rate. You see how the blue is the unemployment rate. It spiked here after coming down so far, and then it spiked, and the housing rate kind of rose with it. And then we just had this big spike here and up, but the unemployment rate hasn't peaked up yet. So that we can probably say is coming. I mean, this chart goes back 36 years, so it's a pretty relevant trend to be watching out for, guys, on that. Windows or Apple? It depends on the Windows. I don't like a lot of Windows, but I hate Apple, so I never get Apple. He's making the wife now, kid grown up and gone. Dan. Oh man. Hey Moody, great question. So we have the repo markets, which is a bunch of money stashed away. And I don't understand exactly how it all works, but I do know like that money is often used to pull from uh, it's like a bank account where they can pull money from. Okay, and I don't exactly know all the ways it works, but I know it's a major indicator for where the economy is going. And so in Canada, you guys just injected it with $5 billion, which is not good. It's supposed to be self-funding. Yeah, Fork Apple, Saber Spank. JYL was flying up today, and then they halted it, and then they knocked it down. And yeah, let me pull that rail. Oh, Zachariah, everything over Apple. I'd choose Linux over Apple, even though Linux really know what you're doing. Today, ZJOL saw this stock alerts. Who's on here tonight? What's up, alerts? Great stuff. Saw they had to be a short report on this earlier. Only brought it down $20. Should have done it when it was in the 60s. Is about to rip the shorts face off, 500 to 1,000, especially when they forward split this one. And then I have. Let me pull up the report that came out today. I think is here. Yeah. So Trading Henny put this up, which by the way, Trading Henny is a great follow. You guys should watch his stuff. But this Culper Research, okay, it's a bunch of short sellers. They put out this hit piece on ZJYL today. So let's go look at this real quick. We are short in Gen Medical International, China Hustle Style Charade. Charade. But the point is they put this report out and then they put it into a thread on Twitter. And it was just a whole all-out attack on ZJYL. Now, here's the number one way you want me to not trust you in the market. You just say we are short something. Because as soon as I know you're a short seller, I'm just not going to trust you. I don't care how everything else looks after that. So they go through this, but this is the hit piece that came out right after, and they have, I mean, this place has 23,000 followers. So, you know, it's a place where the short sellers congregate. But anyways, the point is they put out this report today, and that's what knocks ZJYL back. But isn't it the timing suspect right after they're announcing this split and right after that had that run up? Very interesting, something to watch out for. But I don't think it's going to last. ZJOL is completely held by institutional people, and also big whales hold the float, you know. So it's not going anywhere. As Ham said today, that of course the vote's going to go through. They own all the shares for the forward split. So this is going to be really interesting. It's obviously there's something going on here because they're trying to get out of it. They're definitely trying to get out of it. So, am I freezing up? Oh no. If I'm freezing up, guys, do let me check my internet real quick. Oh, my internet's strong. You guys might need a refresh. Got 10 ZJYL today at 97. I hear about Foon, PHUN, volume yesterday's. No. I haven't heard anything about PHUN, sorry. Oh, thanks, Jeff. Stock Alerts, he posts in here every once in a while. He's alerts. He posted earlier tonight. After Squeeze Omen. Why is Benzinga putting this crap on the news wires? Because Benzinga is all into it. A Culper put out a hit on Rumble too. I didn't know that. Thanks, Gretchen. Buy the dips and sell the rips. That's right. Goodwill. If I thought today was ugly for Finger, wait till you see tomorrow. We'll see, Goodwill. Today was ugly, but it wasn't like all out ugly. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think today was as bad as a lot of people expected. So I think it's actually hanging in there pretty good. Do I think ZJYL will spike before the forward split? Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense for it to, because the shorts are going to want to get out before they owe an extra 20 times in shares, and their margins go up. So for them, the best case scenario is to get out before that, because if they wait, it's going to be harder for them to get out. So yeah, there's a really good chance. There's a really good chance for them to get out ahead of it. Now, nothing's guaranteed. They might stick it out. Who knows? But my money and my opinion is that we'll probably see it go first before it actually splits. I'm good now. Well, that's good. Should I move from GDC to ZJYL? I can't tell you what to do, Benjamin. Listen. The one thing I'll say is that if you're looking at it analytically, we know there's news coming on ZJYL soon, and so as for GDC, we don't know what's going on right now. So if you, all I can say is that I think that ZJYL, based on what I'm seeing, it's like I can say, oh, we definitely have stuff happening here soon that could make it run. Whereas in GDC, I don't see anything coming up. So GDC, when I'm holding that, I'm just thinking, okay, well, I'm just hoping that one of these days it breaks, and I don't know what I'm waiting for. So that's kind of how you got to look at it. You will explode your position with a metric butt ton of shares. Saber, you're all about the butt tonight, man. The spanking, the explode your position. That's funny. All right, let's look over here at this chart. The chart looks like last February when the NYSE composite, that's New York Stock Exchange composite, made a lower high. Market took a big dump, bounced, and crashed into a bank run. Timing to be decided. But he's saying that right now the charts are starting to look like last February. Remember, last February, guys, was right before crazy March. And March last year was nuts. That's when the banks were starting to go down. And we had, what's it called? Silicon Valley Bank went down. I can't remember the name of the other one, but major banks went down. It's two of the biggest bank failures in history. And stock market was all over the place, mostly down last year. So the point is it's getting more and more volatile. And it really looks like things are getting ready to happen. It really does. So another reason why I want to focus on the economy tonight, because I think these things are about to turn, which if we're in these stocks, GTII, Finger, some of the others, it could be very good for us very soon. Video's still freezing? That sucks. I'm sorry. My internet I just checked is fine, so that's weird. Van, and what's up? Buy another 1450 shares of GTI today. Got them for practically nothing. Nice. Oh, I have an idea. Maybe it's my RAM, because I have a lot of windows pulled up to go through all these tweets and news stuff. So let me close some of these. Hopefully that helps the RAM, and maybe my video player won't freeze anymore. All right. Maybe that helps. Okay. Do I have a price idea on ZJYL before the split? No, Kilby. What I would say is that where ZJYL is trading right now, it's been around the 100 mark. We're down at 90 now. We were up at 105 yesterday. So let's just say it's at 100 when it splits, and it splits 20 ways. So that means the shares will go down to $5 each. You'll have 20 times as many shares, and they'll be very affordable. So you got 1450 shares of GTI today. You got them for practically nice, Vanden. Wow. So now I'd hope that the greedy counterfeiters hold past the forward split. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Either way, though, the money is not going to change. It's good to just be in it either way, There you go. He's ass man. Like Kramer. Jerry, I'm the ass man. One of my favorite episodes. Zachariah, should I sell my finger in GTI, jump back into AMC? Oh, God, Zachariah, that's not even funny. Thomas, when the market's so massively manipulated, do charts really matter? No, in my opinion, charts don't matter unless, and I will say this, there is one unless you're day trading and are really good at anticipating the moves. And that means you got to really know what you're doing. You got to have a lot of experience. Arca is really good day to day. It's impossible for him to do with charts because it's so manipulated is go ahead of that. And also, it seems like every time, and I love Arca, him and I get along great. Every time there's a high that's a potential, it rarely goes there. It's like the downside, it seems much more easier to call on charts than the highs. And same with Avid, all them. And those guys, they make money trading. They do. And I know other guys who make money trading, but it's that they're also not trading the manipulated stocks as much though. They are trading Tesla and Nvidia and, all Apple, where the algorithms actually make sense and they're almost completely algorithmically traded. Whereas the manipulated stocks are algorithmically traded to a point, but they're also injected with wash trades and naked shares, all kinds of stuff that you just doesn't happen as much in the big stocks, because these ones are actually just trying to kill versus trading as much. So to me, I'm not a chart guy, because to me it's too hard and too wild as far as trying to predict day to day. So I'm a buy and hold guy. That's what I am. I'm not telling anybody else to do that, but that's who I am. I find something I like and I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy this and hold it till it can do what I think it can do. And sometimes I end up selling after a while because it's not moving the way I want it to. And other times, like GTII Finger, I believe in them so much, just I'm not going anywhere. So video's good now. Good. Husker, makes me laugh how upset people get when they hear your ham say soon. Yeah, right, Husker Power? They hate that word, but it's... Soon is a relative term. Am I on a desktop or laptop? Desktop. I don't stream from a laptop. It's too risky. Sean, on GTI, would the price point be where it is now be a good time for the naked short bricks to cover because it's so damn low? I don't know. I mean, Sean, obviously they don't think so. So, I mean, I think they're trying to kill it. They're trying to absolutely wipe it out so that they can escape. And that's, I think, the only way they get out of GTI is to destroy it, which they can't because we're too big of a shareholder base. So what they're going to do is they're hoping we turn around and sell, or they're hoping GTI freaks out and gives them a deal, which I don't think will ever happen. So it's just going to happen. So nice, Zechariah. Appreciate you telling me that. I'll stay away from you then. NASDAQ put out an article saying fraud's $1 trillion problem. Yep, we went through that yesterday, Vanden. It's that was a crazy story. What's up, Dave? You gotta wait till GTI. It's 10 cents to load up more. I mean, okay. I mean, at this point, I guess it's within possibility. I wouldn't have thought so a year ago, but I mean, yeah, they do put plastic in certain rice brands. You're right, Zachariah. It is not good. First Republic crashed last year. You're right. You lost 10 grand on that, Corey? Were you invested in it? Wow. Saber, I wish people would research Univest timeframes, pay attention. Your Ham and Williams call. The plays are alive. GTI Finger discussed every day. Sick of having to I hear you, Saber. Just like quick, Mike got in the shower. Let's do a live stream. Wednesdays, you guys know. Wednesdays, I don't usually know when I'm coming on, so. Oh, you're good, Alerts. You do great work, man. Marion Unco, since we're all deep in red, holding strong, what's the worst possible case scenario for GTI right now? That's a great question, Marion. Okay, so Marion, or is it Marion? Worst case scenario for GTI. The absolute worst case scenario, there's let's do it two ways. Let's say there's the realistic worst case, and then there's the absolute worst case. I don't see any chance in hell of it happening, but you have to just say that it could happen. So first of all, the absolute worst case I don't think would ever happen. There's no evidence that would ever happen, but it could happen because it's just life and things happen, is that GTI sells us out and they pull an Adam Aaron and bail out the shorts so that they can get injected with cash. Why do I think that would never happen? GTI has been fighting alongside us this entire time. There's no evidence they'd ever do that. B, GTI doesn't need a big cash injection like that. That's not how their business works, and they don't need the cash to stay alive. So there's no reason for them to do that. Okay, so that's number one. The other worst case scenario, in my opinion, is that we fluctuate in this a long time still. They're not able to pull off a deal for some reason. The GTI completely avoids its trends of the past and does not have a spike up for a while, and we trend here for a while, and then the market completely implodes, and everything squeezes at once. And because everything squeezes at once, there's just no money to be had, and we barely we make back our money and then some, but don't make back nearly what we deserve to make back. And that to me is more realistic, because if everything crashed and squeezed at once, I think it'd be very hard for that to happen, but it is within the realm of possibility. But as far as like losing money on this play, to me, in my opinion, the only way that happens long term is if the company betrays us. And we have no reason to think that'll ever happen. GTI has been fighting now for 3.5 years. They've done everything right, except be able to close a deal. But everything else they've done, they've given us the dividend, they gave us the warrant, they paid off the toxic loan and trapped the shorts. They've promised us no reverse split. They've done time after time. They've done everything to fight with us. And so I just don't see any way that we have to worry about them bailing on us. So there you go. That's my breakdown. ZJOL looking nice. You're liking Rum's chart there. Yeah, the only thing about Rum is I just don't know what that CEO is doing right now. I'm waiting to see if they enter the fight. How high do I think GTI could run to? I mean, if you compare it to the overstock squeeze, GTI has the math to run to 2,000 plus. I personally think it'll probably run in the low thousands. That's where I think, like 1,300 to 1,200, somewhere in that range, at a spike, which means don't count on it. Don't count on selling at that point. Please get out earlier, because if you miss that, and then you're going to be catching it falling knife, and good luck. Sean, am I aware of any blue sheets ever being released for an OTC small cap stock? Not that I can think of off the top of my head, no. What's up, Phil? You're damn late you're here. That's all right. Worst case scenario, GTI CEO makes a public announcement, takes off his face mask, reveals he's Adam Aaron. So the worst case scenario is like the Wayne's World ending. I would have gotten away for it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Now let's do the happy ending. Diddly, diddly, diddly. That's what it makes me sound like. Yeah, just like the Scooby-Doo ending. Yeah. All right, let's not hope for the worst, hold strong. Williams sound pretty disturbed. Listen, I don't know what Williams going through with GTII. And you guys, like, I love William, and I've already told you guys, I'll never say a bad word about William. Okay. But Williams is, he's an emotional guy. He feels deeply. And if he got upset about something, it's obvious. And so I don't know what he's upset about. And I disagree with him on his conclusions out of it, because Ham's nowhere near as discouraged as William is. So, you guys got to listen to all of us and everybody who, and then look at the data yourself and then make your own decision on like if you feel discouraged or not. But I haven't gotten the same sense of discouragement from Ham that I got that William's putting off. Yeah, I saw that Jamie Dimon video, Kryptonian. William thinks it's possible GTI could go to 2 again. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it's very far either. At this point, we're so down, it's more funny than scary. Yeah, I mean, right? Once you make peace with the fact that like your money's just down, like mine, it doesn't even bother me right now. Yeah, Barbara, you're right. The CEO guy is waiting to see what he wants to do with it. Goodwill, William hasn't been right about anything. Alpine going down any day now. Logic, look at those tickets since Williams been covering them. Williams had a rough run, I will say, on Logic and stuff. I disagree with you about GTI though, Will, because William was on GTI when it ran to 9. He was on it when it ran to 3. So he's been right several times about GTII. And so now it says he doesn't think Williams discouraged. So that's good to know. I haven't been watching his 7-hour streams. So I'll tell you that right now. All right, let's see here. I had a couple other things I wanted to go real quick. All right, so right now the Chinese stock market's taking a dump. I don't know if you guys seen this, but this is the U.S. market compared to the Chinese, just the differentiation. And so our markets, even with being down, the spread is getting positive across from it because China's going in such a bad place right now. So that's just not good. All right, Kobisi had some really good tweets today. Stocks are falling like the bull market's over. Gold's falling like the Fed's no longer pivoting. Oil prices falling like we're heading into a recession. Bonds are falling like we're headed for a soft landing. VIX is rising like markets set a major top. Nothing adds up here. And that's the point. Like, it is all over the place right now. There's so many bad metrics out there that the good metrics right now don't make sense. And so it's all over the place. And that tells you that it's volatility, and it tells you they're losing control because they want to present a narrative that they can feed investors, they can feed for politics, all the reasons that you want to make the market look good, the economy look good. They want to be able to feed that, and they can't right now. It's all over the place. And so what they're trying to do is they're controlling what they can control or manipulating what they can manipulate, but everything else is just going crazy right now, and it's making everything wild. Down here it says this is a product of a market almost entirely driven by the Fed. Fed speculation led to choppy price action, tons of uncertainty. And I would also add to that, which Kobisi's never going to say, but I would add to that it's crooks manipulation and criminals basically. So, but Kobisi letter is still really good. China's GDP deflator, a measure of prices across the economy, fell by 1.5% in Q4. So this marked the third straight quarterly decline, the longest decline since 1999. That's huge, guys. That's a big deal since 1999. In the 2008 financial crisis, China only saw 2 quarters of declining prices. And now we're at 3 straight. China's economy has fallen apart. Weak consumer confidence and a housing market downturn are the primary reasons. China's likely already in a recession. And here's our economy-wide prices in the longest decline since 1999. Look at the drop-off. It's getting wild. It's getting wild. If China goes, we have a lot of, I'm not worried about Finger because Finger is doing a deal with the Chinese government. The Chinese government's still in control of all the people and the cell phones. That's not going anywhere. It's just one of those deals where, like, even recession, cell phones aren't going anywhere. So cell phone plans, all that will still be doing great. But this is a sign that's going to impact our markets. And so this is what we need to watch out for. Money market funds just saw 182 billion of inflows in the first 2 weeks of 2024. This is the biggest 2-week inflow ever recorded to start a year. This brings the total assets held by money market funds up to $6 trillion. Since the Fed began raising rates in March 2022, over 1.5 trillion has gone to the money market. Why are they putting this in here? Because the rates are so high and the economy is crazy. So people are putting their money into money market funds, which are supposed to be a safe place. Where does it all go once they start cutting rates? That's the question, right? So people are getting scared with their money. And then here, shipping costs. Remember we talked about when they were 61% on day one, January 1st? Now global freight rates are up 120%. Much of this has to do with recent attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea. Last time we saw a surge rate in freight rates was during the pandemic with a 168% jump. We're going to see commodities get real expensive real fast. So get ready, guys. All this is not not good. What's going on with Alpine? Are they still kicking the can? Alpine, at this point, the Supreme Court's going to be deciding a case. They'll give the decision in June, and I have a feeling that case, because it's got involves FINRA so closely and will affect FINRA so much, that I think that Alpine case will get kicked down until after that Supreme Court decision is made. So, Han went to the movies. He's going to McDonald's diaper tour. Did you guys see those pictures of Madonna with the butt like thing she's got on? That's all. It's gross. It's so weird. Um, yeah. How in the world can anyone be right with the counterfeiting going? It's very hard. It's very hard. But here's the deal. Here's the best part about being right or wrong with all the manipulation going on. You because we're going after these stocks that are so highly manipulated that they could turn into massive squeezes very soon. Because of that, we only need to be right once, and it's the Michael Burry thing. In The Big Short, Michael Burry with that hedge fund, he was a smart trader. They were getting good returns in his hedge fund. But then he put it all in on the housing market, and took years, and then it blew up and set him up for life and made him a market hero, quote unquote. I mean, at least very famous. And the dude has been wrong several times since then on other shorts he's taken, other opinions he's had about the economy. He's been wrong several times. But the one time he was right, that's all that matters. It's all that matters for his own personal life and for his career and everything. Forever now, he's Michael Burry, and people always take him seriously. And also, he's got so much money, he doesn't care. So you only, on these, with all these manipulated stocks, we just need to be right the one time, and then it changes everything. Hope Ham didn't go to AMC. Right. Have a great night, alerts. Do I think China market's falling because Trump coming back? No. I think that may be closer to November. That might be a thing if he's got crazy momentum, but it's too early for that, in my opinion. Nothing is coming if it did. They'd close market. What? Kilby, does the SEC need to wait for the American elections before enough's enough, or do they let stocks run to make some sort of correction? That's a great question, Kilby. I don't know how they want to play it. I really don't. I think either one of those is very possible. Yeah. Stock Twitch trolls. Oh, God, those guys. GTI is a little overhead. Yeah, very little. They're a holding company with few employees. Trendo comes through and we continue to buy and hold for digital company. I agree, JD. That's exactly why I'm here. Yep. Jack, all right. What's up, buddy? Yeah, you're welcome, man. GTI figure will rise. World is getting worse. It's definitely going through a hard time, that's for sure. Yep. Moastic event, yeah. D. Peterson, yesterday's Empire State Gauge Index was the lowest since the 2020 pandemic. Now entering another severe recession. Really? I didn't see the Empire State Gauge. That's interesting. I've never even heard of that. How will the election affect the stock? You mean the stock market in general? It's a great question. So we're in such a bad place economically, and the stock market is so volatile right now that I don't think the election really affects the stock market one way or the other, except for one caveat. That caveat is this: if there's a big if they are able to keep it propped up until the election, they will, because they want Biden to win. Okay, they do. They don't want Trump appointing Patrick Byrne to the SEC or Treasury Secretary. They don't want that because he'll take away the good times. So they want Biden to win. And so because of that, they're going to try to keep it propped up. Now, the question is, can they? I personally don't believe they can. I think things are too bad and they won't be able to save it this time. They won't be able to keep it up till then. And that's my personal opinion. But if they can, then the stock market, if Trump wins, which I believe he will handily, then I believe they'll tank it quickly after he's in, because they'll want him to start with the horrible economy and everything they've been propping up to try to get Biden elected. They'll have no need to do that anymore, and they can allow the correction to come. So that's my personal belief on that. Thomas, you were thinking about Cassandra. What a trip. Yeah. Cassandra BC. I'm trying to think of who that is. If we can get Elon to help, I mean, that'd be awesome if Elon got in. You're scared about your GTI shares? Well, I mean, I get it. It is scary right now, but if you know why you're here, it's less scary, because this is all a part of it, you know. Did William meet with the guy from Trento? Yeah, he did. You'll have to listen to his live about it though. I didn't. He breaks it down more on what he thinks from his meetings and stuff. Moral says all he needs is anyone, a whale to buy so much at once, cause a margin call happy. I mean, that would be amazing if that happened. But the thing is that at this point, there's so much stock out there that we don't know if they'll be able to, make it run. We just don't. So, hey, Bill Perfect, welcome to the supporter. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you joining the membership. I will have a members live for you guys this weekend. Okay. Rosie, I'm scared I won't have enough shares to become a billionaire. That's funny. DWAC run to 28 on the Iowa news. Speaking of that news, it's looking like New Hampshire is going to be quite a runaway as well, although a little closer. But that's because old Nikki is throwing everything at this race, including having Democrats come over and vote for her. Did you guys see that in Iowa? All the people who were Democrats that came in and voted for her? I mean, she's Hillary Clinton 2.0, so it's, oh yeah, you're right. Michael Burry's handle is Cassandra BC. That's where I recognized it. I couldn't remember, but, yeah, anyways, it's all right. Here's a great post from RRR. He's awesome. He does great, DD on this stuff. And he breaks this down. GTI, I know everyone's hurrying on this ticker. Look what has happened since end of October when Divvy shares were released via TA Liberty, and only one broker, Questrade in Canada, has fully delivered. Just one. The others are doing this. Look at the 6-month chart. This is crazy. This tells you guys something is happening with the dividend. Because, I mean, if you go from here to here, it's basically the same price, right? So we had a couple spikes up, hit one again almost. And and going back throughout the whole summer, we were in the 80s and the 70s, got up to 130. This is what we were doing. And then the dividend comes. And ever since the dividend, it's just been nonstop going down. This is the lowest we've been. This has to be, the dividend is causing something. Like something's going on here. And my guess is the brokers are probably allowing things to be even worse in order to try to get the stock killed. I mean, wouldn't that just make sense? That's a guess on my hand, but you can tell. I mean, right immediately after the dividend, it's been nonstop. So he makes a great point here, and seeing the chart, it really clicks. So I don't know. You guys can make your thoughts on that, but that's what it looks like to me. It looks like the dividend, it put them in such a bad position that they really just to me, this looks like they're definitely holding it back from popping up again, because we were in this range, this 70 to 90 range for months. And also last year, we never got below 40. We never got below 43, I think, at the lowest. So anyways, just something really interesting broken down there. Nikki Haley is the Democrats' best shot to win the White House. That is for sure. I heard an interesting theory the other day that they actually want Nikki Haley to win because they don't think a Democrat can win. And so they think their best chance to get back the presidency is actually to win the Republican primary. That was an interesting theory. Dave, if we buy altcoins, make money, we can come back and buy the crap out. Yeah, but the problem is guessing the altcoins, Dave. You got to guess the right ones. Otherwise, you get screwed over. Yeah, let the stock do that thing. Call her Tricky Nikki. I like that. Tricky Nikki. What's the volume difference from last year? Volume is down. Not every day, but for the most part, it's down. Although GTI volumes ticked up the last few weeks versus where it was. Volume. I mean, here's the volume chart right here. Okay, so you can see like how low it got in December. I mean, we were trading like 60,000 a day. We had this spike up here. This is when they attacked us the other day, which GTI held up really well considering that attack. And then it just, so we're a little lower than our average. I mean, back here you can see is higher. And we had spikes. But if you go back to the beginning of last year, GTI averaged like 1.2 million traded for the first, I think, 6 months of last year. It was wild. Immortal, imagine GTI at 10 cents, 10,000 investment would get you 100,000 shares of GTI. If it runs to 10, you'll have $1 million. But yeah, right? Yeah. Just by running to 10. That's a good point, Immortal. Kilby TD Canada sells until. I know nobody has a Quest trade. Swab won't let you buy any more shares, so if you can buy in short, stock goes down. Yeah, there you go. Nasty Nikki. That's funny. Nasty Nikki. I like that one. I was gonna play some of this. I don't think I could play the whole thing because I might get copyrighted. Because even though they allow it on Twitter, I've run a couple of these videos before and I've gotten flagged. But I do want to show some of Jamie Dimon's, and let me talk about that in a second. Sean, if volume's down, wouldn't it be easy to show buy versus sell? Math doesn't make sense to support the drastic drop, right? I agree with you. The math, the volume nothing makes sense. That's what it is. It's all BS. The entire stock, how it trades everything. GTII finger, it's all BS. It's all nonsense. And so we can't look at it. It's also why we can't look at winning the way you'd think our stock would usually win. It has to be different because we're not playing a fair game. We're playing a rigged game. And so we have to figure out how to rig it against them in the way they can't win anymore. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. Thomas, huge volume GTI meaning the counterfeit shares are hot off the press. Nobody's selling, it's getting crushed. Yeah. I mean, I don't know hot off the press what that means. I don't know what you mean by that. They've just been counterfeiting it this whole time. I do think that a lot of people have been tapped out. And so part of it going down is definitely that it's definitely that the buying pressure has dried up a little bit. We're not as strong on the buying as we were last year. Because there was a lot more excitement last year. Last January is when the NSCC document came out. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that document came out and it got a lot of excitement going for GTII, and that's when GTII almost hit 3, and that's when they shorted it 1 million shares in half an hour to get it below 2, back down to 230 from 298 in half hour. I'll never forget it. It was wild. That was last January. And then from there, we had the whole GTI CRTD thing with Jeremy Frommer, which was kind of exciting for a while before it didn't happen. We kept waiting to hear the audit for 1-800 Law Firm. And then Alpine, that news first came out in March. We had a ton of news and action early last year, if you guys remember. And that's what drove a lot of the volume. The difference now is like ever since we had the dividend, it's been very, very little news and action in GTI. And so that has also hurt some of the buying. Thomas R. read that. Gretchen, Ace, what do I think the catalyst will be to start the double squeeze? It's a great question, Gretchen. The problem is that I think I talked about this last night. There are several catalysts that could happen, but the truth is that most short squeezes don't happen from a catalyst you expect. They usually happen from a catalyst that happens behind the scenes. So, I mean, it could be one of a handful of things. The Secret Service could show up at, their door one day at the short's door and immediately the shorts stop and then all of a sudden start spiking up because a prime broker has to buy in. That's possible. Or they show up to the prime broker, that could be one. It could be the economy tanking and all of a sudden margin calls go way down because the risk assessment teams are like, we have to have capital and you guys can no longer short unless you give us a buku ton of bucks that the shorts don't have. And so then they're forced to buy back in. That's very possible. It could be, if it's going to be a deal that sparks buy-ins, it has to be a massive deal. So for GTI, it could be Trento. For Finger, they're in a better position fundamentally. So Finger could be a big deal that's lesser, but is still there. The thing is like, we don't know. And I'm at the point where it's like, I think it's going to happen one day when we least expect it. I don't think a catalyst that we're waiting for is going to send it in a day or two from the catalyst. What I think is going to happen is that all these things keep accumulating. So in GTII, we have all this stuff that's accumulated over the years, right? Lots of buying. People have bought this thing up, tons and tons of shares. That just alone has put them in a bigger hole. Two, we had the warrant come out, which helped send it to 9. But also, a lot of those weren't fully exercised because of brokers. So that put a little more pressure. Now we have the dividend that put pressure on them. So all this is like bubbling up beneath the surface, like a volcano that's about to erupt, and it just keeps boiling, and we don't know. You got the law enforcement. That's another thing adding to the boiling, and so at some point it just pops, and you just can't plan for it when it's going to happen. You just have to be ready. That's how I look at it, because I can't think of a single catalyst in any squeeze where it happened the day after. Well, I can't say any squeeze, but any of the big ones, GameStop, VW, Overstock, the catalyst wasn't like it happened and a day later it goes. The catalyst usually happened months ahead of time or weeks ahead of time, and nobody can point, except for Overstock with the dividend. None of these other ones you can pinpoint exactly what triggered it. There's ideas, there's theories, there's reasons why it happened, but that exact moment nobody can pinpoint. And then there's a few where like GDC ran from $3 to 44 last year, where you can pinpoint it to the day was when Univest on May 1st filed another S1 and sent it skyrocketing in that day. So it's just, it's pretty impossible to guess on these. Moose, you're going to buy a house? Good for you, man. Kilby, is it possible to write an article for the algorithms to pick up good news versus the hit pieces? I mean, is it possible? I'm sure it's possible. You would just, I don't know how to do it. By hot off the press, I mean they're printing counterfeit shares like hotcakes on a lumberjack. That's true. I at least expect finger to squeeze tomorrow morning. Yeah, there you go. When I meet Ham in person, oh man, that's funny. I've been wondering if West Christian has a lawsuit coming against BDs for the GTI dividend. Ham says he's got some coming. That's a good point, Ryan. Let me bring up this tweet real quick. Mark, he posted the other day that some big's coming, and then he says this: when you see this, you'll know he filed action on behalf of one of my clients. Just a heads up. So Mark is giving us a lot of clues that something's coming. And then we know that Wes, we were told by both Mark and Ham that Wes has several cases about to be filed. So might be something worth looking up. We used to have somebody who had access to that lawyer database where you could look up filed lawsuits and stuff. And so that might be worth looking to see if someone's been filed. Ace, do I think the police are watching all the sketchy selling that goes on? I think some are. I don't know how much. I mean, I really believe that the Secret Service guy said his analyst was looking at it. So I believe they were looking at it, but I can't say how much. Immortal, truth is GTI is going down, not only due to naked shorting, people are selling to get into other hot plays. I don't know if anybody's selling GTI at this point, though, to jump into Rum or ZJYL, Immortal, honestly. I just don't. And I don't think Rum's a hot play yet. We need to know more from the CEO before we know if it's a hot play. Wall Street Bets did not start the GameStop squeeze, Peterson. That's a misnomer that's being spread. Actually, what really started getting it squeezing, so Wall Street Bets set a big bottom for it and helped build the pressure. But what really happened is the hedge funds decided they were going to start making it run. And that's been well documented. There's, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. There's a guy who does great videos on this stuff. And Ham, who's an insider, Pedro, insider. All the insiders know that it actually wasn't retail that made GameStop squeeze. Sean, do we know why GTI with Wes dropped their lawsuit with prejudice? It wasn't GTI's decision. I think it was Wes's decision. No, we never got an explanation for that. You have that access, Sean? Yeah, man. I mean, if you could just look up and see if there's anything from West Christian. Thomas, Navy battleships in the Red Sea. Oh, oh boy. I hope we don't go there. But, all right, I'm going to go back to this real quick. I don't know who saw this. You guys know who Jamie Dimon is. He's the CEO of Chase Bank, biggest bank in JP Morgan Chase, the biggest bank in the world, or at least in the U.S., which probably means in the world. But anyways, he basically laid the smackdown today about the economy being in a bad place. And I'm not going to play the video. Like I said, I don't want to get a copyright strike. But I recommend you guys see it. It was all over Twitter today. But he just goes on about like why people are voting for Trump. He shuts up these CNBC people who just can't believe that he'd say anything good. And Diamond's not a Trump guy, but he's just saying why people vote for him. But he also talks about the economy. Why would the biggest guy in the banks be talking bad on what's going on? Well, one thing about Diamond, he's not a globalist. He even said at the World Economic Forum a few months ago about how important, like how oil's not going anywhere, directly speaking against their like energy agenda. So he's a capitalist, good guy or bad, mostly a bad guy. None of these guys are great guys. But it's interesting that the biggest, like the guy in charge of the biggest bank of the world is actually speaking out a lot against a lot of this nonsense and actually saying the economy is going to get worse and stuff. He's speaking against the narrative that the media and the Biden administration, everybody is trying to push out there. So that tells me that there's a there's a renegade segment in the markets right now, and some of the most powerful people in the world actually are not on board with all that's going on, whether it's the Great Reset, whether or this total manipulation of the market into like a more socialist kind of thing. They're not on board with that. And so it's going to be interesting. So you got to understand there's a lot of competing factors going on behind the scenes. And this interview is one of those that proves it. So it's just something worth watching. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's only a 3-minute clip, but it's worth watching to kind of hear him say stuff that makes these guys in the middle, the journalists, kind of gasp. So, and also it's funny because this is the guy, I can't remember his name right now, but he's the guy who also was there when Elon Musk was like, go F yourselves. So this guy keeps getting the good interviews. But I do recommend watching it. Finger filed their amended complaint yesterday to include Igor Appelboom and Benzinga as defendants. Okay. Interesting. Pacer. That's right. Thanks, Brett. It's a Pacer account. Yeah, please give the algorithms a tickle by hitting the like. Thanks, guys. Diamond killed Bitcoin. He hates Bitcoin, that's for sure. Rosie says JD sees the writing on the wall and wants to get on Trump's good side to calculate move. Yeah, I mean, if you guys noticed a lot of change after that Iowa win. Ted Cruz now endorsed. Vivek dropped out and endorsed. There's been like all of Fox News, who's been very like just kind of standoffish to Trump the last several months, is now all of a sudden like the biggest Trump fans in the world again. Laura Ingraham, Tommy Loren, I've seen several of them be like, let's just get behind him now. And I'm like, who are you people? You guys are like the biggest DeSantis people I've ever seen. So anyways, it's really interesting. Peterson, the last point spread I saw was Niners 9.5. And I've already given you guys my estimate for the game, the Niners game. I think we win 38-20. So there you go. Anyways, on that note, guys, I'm going to head off tonight. I'm going to go spend some time with my wife and kids before they go to bed. But I will be back tomorrow, 8:45, 9 o'clock. So yeah, you guys have an awesome night. I do think Binox is awesome. That's funny. But yeah, guys, it's getting wild. And I think the economy is really on the verge of something crazy here. I think this next couple months heading into March, it's going to be wild. And I also think that it's not a good time to be lulled into a sleep with GTII and Finger doing what they're doing. I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than anybody knows on both the company sides and the broker sides and the short side. And because of that and all the volatility going on in the markets, I would just urge everybody, be on alert, because I think we're at the point where we need to be ready that anything could happen. The beginning of the year, Q1 has tended to be a very volatile time for short squeeze stocks. This includes last year, remember TOP ran last March, includes 2021, 3 years ago when GameStop and all those other stocks ran. This is a time when things can get crazy. So I would just be ready is all I'm saying. The price right now really just doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't, except that you can buy more for less. So there you go. But anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. God bless you guys. Tomorrow be back on regular live, and we'll go a little longer. So, but I'm going to head off. I already went a little later than I told my wife I would. So God bless you guys. Have an awesome night, and we will talk tomorrow. See ya.